evening, and thank you for coming. I won't take up too much of your evening. I do have a video that I filmed. I thought I was supposed to film a video. I didn't know I was going to actually do a virtual training. But the video that I filmed for you guys is pretty much just everything you need to know, just some tips about how to get to know your student, especially in that those first couple of meetings or first couple of sessions with them. So I thought I would share the video, and then there is something in the video that I need to explain to you guys that I'm going to show you an example of. And then that will be it, and I will take questions, and we'll do a little Q&A. All right, so let me share my screen here so that you guys can see the video. And if one of you would just check with me and make sure you can see the video, like a thumbs up.
I can see it.
Okay, good. Or yes, Jen, just tell me, because I guess I can't actually see. Okay, great. Well, here is the video. Let me put it in full screen. And then if you're not on mute, you might want to mute so that everyone can hear it. Okay, here's the video.
Hi, everyone. If you're watching this video, that means that you have been chosen to be an MRC Midlands Reading Consortium volunteer, and you are about to embark on an incredible journey as a volunteer, because you're going to have so much fun with the kids that you're volunteering with and tutoring with, and they're going to teach you so many things, and you're going to be able to teach them so many things, and it's going to be a really rewarding experience. I know I had a lot of fun as a tutor, and now I am really excited and honored to be able to provide you with a little bit of advice and training on what is to come with this tutoring experience. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, everyone, so the first tip that I have for you is just having a conversation with your reader. Your first meeting is going to be the first time that you have seen your reader and the first time you've met them, and this is going to be the first time that they're meeting you. And more than likely, they're going to be shy because, you know, they've never met you before and you are older than them, and they're already probably thinking that they're not, you know, 100% what they're reading. So they might be coming in to this experience very shy. So you want to get them comfortable. So I would begin by asking them questions, you know, ask them questions about their hobbies, the things they like to do, games that they like to play. You might even want to play a game of tic-tac-toe with them, or bring a word search, something that is kind of at their level, and work on a word search together. You know, have some way to bond with them before maybe diving into reading. Of course, you do want to have a book ready, depending on how much time you have. But I think the biggest thing about that first initial meeting is breaking the ice and getting your reader comfortable with you, because you're going to be tutoring them for a certain period of time. So you want them to be comfortable with you so that they can feel comfortable coming to you for help, or, you know, just showing you what they can do when you are there. My second tip is something that you may want to take into consideration, but it is by no means something that you absolutely have to do. But I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Burke Interview, and what I'll do is I will post a link to a Burke Interview in the description box so that you can see what that looks like and decide for yourself whether or not you want to use it. But basically, the Burke Interview is just kind of like the profile of that reader, and it asks questions like, when you come to a word or something that you don't know in a book, what do you do? Who in your life is a good reader? What do you think they do when they don't know something when they're reading? Questions like that, kind of to get them thinking about how they learned to read and who helped them up to this point with you now being their tutor. It can give you a lot of really good information about, you know, kind of what they think about reading and how they see themselves as readers. Again, it's not something you have to do, but I do think it provides a lot of good information. This might not be something you have time to do in the first meeting because, like I said before, you want to spend that first meeting getting comfortable or having your reader get comfortable with you and just building that relationship from the very beginning. So you might not be able to do your Burke interview, again, if you choose to do it until your second meeting, but it is something to consider because it does provide a lot of good information about your reader. My third tip is to go ahead and read to your reader. You know, you want to, once you have gotten that foundational relationship built, you want to begin modeling for them good reading behaviors and good reading strategies. For example, I have this book here that I absolutely love. It's called And the People Stayed Home. And maybe you will read a page or two out of that book, and you might not just read it and then be like, okay, let's talk about it. Maybe you will read it and stop every so often, and you'll have a conversation about the words in the book or what something might mean, or maybe the illustrations. You can get so much meaning out of just talking about the words, the context, the meaning, the illustrations. Just kind of get those words flowing and get those conversations flowing between you and your reader about books. And it'll kind of give them examples about things that they should be looking for and things that they should be thinking about while they're reading their own books. So go ahead and maybe model reading for them, but not just reading, actually going through the text for meaning and looking at the illustrations for meaning. I think that would be a really good way to also further your conversation with them about books and also make some connections between maybe the book that you're reading to them, maybe make a connection between that book and your life and see if they can make a connection between that book and their life. I think that would be a really cool thing and a cool experience for them. The first meeting should not be something that is completely nerve-wracking. It should be a totally fun meeting. I know your reader might be anxious the first time, but when you begin to build that relationship, it loosens them up, it breaks the ice, and then you guys will really be able to see the great work that you'll be able to do together. And for those future tutoring sessions from there on out, you'll be able to really see them grow because they're going to be trying more, they're going to really build more of an appreciation for reading, and you're going to be so proud of how far that they come. I know the readers that I worked with when I was a tutor, it was amazing to me the amount of growth that I saw. So this experience as an MRC tutor is going to be extremely rewarding for you. I'm very excited for you, and I can't wait to see what kinds of awesome things you're going to do for your readers. Happy tutoring, and I will see you in the next advising video. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, hang on, let me get out of that. Okay, so hold on. Okay, there you guys are. Yeah, I thought I was going to be filming another video, so that's why I said the next one. But just to kind of reiterate from that video, the biggest thing is just going to be your first meeting. You want to really, you know, make those connections and build those relationships with the students that you're tutoring, because that's going to set the tone for the rest of your sessions going forward. Now I want to show you guys the Burke interview that I was talking about. Is there anyone, before I show it, that has never heard of it?
I've never heard of it.
I haven't.
Okay, cool. I think the first time I ever heard of it was as a tutor or in one of my internship classes or something like that. So I am going to switch to that tab where I have it open. I have so many tabs open. I'm also getting my doctorate, so I have a billion tabs open on my computer, so just give me a moment. Okay. All right, sharing. Hang on. Let's see if this works. I may have to close a few things out. Those are my dogs. Okay. Do you guys see it now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So, and this is a PDF. I don't know how to get rid of that sidebar. Okay, so this is, unless I can do this. Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is the Burke reading interview. I don't know if it will let me attach it or anything in the Meet. If not, I can email it to whoever and they can get it to you guys, or you can just Google it. I actually Googled this. But these, and I'll kind of go through them slowly, these are just some questions that you would ask the person you're tutoring, just to get to know them as readers and what they think of reading. So I guess I'll just go through and read them. So the first question is, when you're reading and come to something you don't know, what do you do? And then follow up with, do you ever do anything else? The second question is, who is a good reader that you know? A lot of times they'll say their mom or their dad. And then the third question is, what makes, and then whoever they said in question number 2, a good reader? It's very interesting to hear some of the responses that they have to that question. And then number 4, do you think that person ever comes to something she or he doesn't know? A lot of times I'll have, and I'm a teacher, so I sometimes give this interview to my personal students, and they will say, no, because they're smart. They never come to anything they don't know. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then if they answer yes to number 4, then you follow up with this question. When blank comes to something he or she doesn't know, what do you think they do? He or she does. And then if they answer no, suppose they did come to something they didn't know, what do you think he or she would do? If you know someone who is having trouble reading, how would you help that person? What would a teacher or your teacher do to help that person? How did you learn to read? What would you like to do better as a reader? Number 9. Number 10, do you think you are a good reader? Why or why not? And then this is just some information about the Burke interview. When I printed this out, I didn't print those other pages. If you want to learn more about it, you can. It gives you more information about what it is, but I just focused on the interview itself. But again, this isn't something that you absolutely have to do. I just think that it does give a lot of good information, and it can be in a lot of depth, so you may have to record it. Like what I do sometimes is I will take my phone and voice record it, because I cannot write and listen to somebody talk at the same time. I miss so much. So I would record it, and then maybe you could go back and fill in if you want to. But yeah, that is the Burke interview. And that's pretty much all I have as far as the presentation and the sessions. Does anyone have questions for me about anything?
Do we know if this is virtual or not?
I'm thinking that some of you guys will be doing virtual tutoring, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so you will be doing some virtual tutoring. So again, this can be something that the Burke interview is something that you can do virtually, if you just do what I did and share it.
Do you know when we're going to find out actually when we start, or what school or what children we'll be working with?
We do not know that as yet. My name is Della Brooks. I'm an MRC liaison at United Way. You will be notified as the schools have just really started. So we're probably looking at maybe mid to the end of September. It depends on the school. So once we have that information, we will instruct our tutors as far as if it's going to be virtual or in person. But as soon as we know, you will know.
Okay, thank you.
Sheridan, I have a question. As far as, let's say that your student is really shy and kind of hesitant in asking the questions, what would be some things that you would suggest to help them with answering the questions.
Are you talking about with the interview?
Yeah, with the Burke. Or with
You
really anything. Getting your student to answer questions.
I actually haven't had this experience as a tutor. I guess just you may have to alter how you ask the question. But I haven't really had that experience with as a tutor or with any of my students. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm their teacher. I don't know. It could be something different. So I haven't had that experience.
I think that's a good question because this is going to be like a beginning of a relationship with our students. So would you suggest any type of icebreaker activity to start to build that relationship?
Well, I did not do a Burke interview with my students on the first session. What I did with my 2 students that I tutored is I brought coloring pages, and it just so happened that they really did enjoy coloring. And we just kind of talked, and I asked them questions really just about themselves, just to kind of get to know them. And I found that, when I started, showing interest in what they were interested in, that started to build their comfort level with me. And it I was able to get more out of them in future sessions. So maybe that first meeting, you aren't really, I guess, I don't want to say as structured, but maybe you're not there to really do a reading lesson. Of course, like I said in the video, have something prepared, but maybe you just want to take that time and just open yourself up for getting to know the student that you're tutoring.
Hey, Sheridan, I hope you don't mind if I join in to just add to what you were saying, especially when being virtual last year. I know the first round of tutoring with your student, we did do icebreakers, and I know personally I would create a PowerPoint that explained a bit more about myself since it is virtual, and you can make it interactive so that your student is able to participate as well, so they can still get to know you even though it's still virtual, and you can make it as personal as you want. Just want to throw that out there.
That's really good to know, because I know that my class had a volunteer, and then there was a volunteer that one of my students had, and I couldn't tell or not if the sound wasn't working or anything because I didn't hear them talking to the person. And so she asked me what she thought that she should do, and I wasn't sure because this was just a child who was normally quiet. So that's really good advice. So I appreciate you throwing that out there. Any other questions?
Well, my question is based on the virtual portion. When are we going to find out exactly what is going to be used when we're doing virtual? And are we going to have any training on that?
I can answer that. You will find out once we meet with the school. They will let us know what virtual platform they use. Last year we found that they do Google Docs. Some of them did Zoom. Some of them did Google Classroom. It just depends, but whatever platform the school uses, and if that's the school that you're at, you will be trained on that. So you can rest assured that you will go in confident and knowing, feeling comfortable, and even if you haven't never done it before, that we're going to do our best to make you feel comfortable in doing this. And it was really a success last year with the volunteers that did it that felt uneasy. And I think with the help of the school and with the teacher and with your MRC liaison, you guys are going to do awesome. We're here for you.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Will the session still be 30 minutes?
Yeah, from 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
I think the majority of them was what, Deja, like 20 minutes max, because of of just the attention span. In case of this, it is virtual, the attention span, I don't think a lot of tutors went to 30 minutes. So you just have to get a feel for your student as far as what would be best.
Okay. What's the highest grade level?
We're doing kindergarten through 3rd grade.
Okay.
Yeah, we added 3rd grade in. Usually it was kindergarten and 2nd grade, but now we have 3rd grade.
Okay.
Thank you. Great question.
Do we pick the books or do the school pick the books? How does, as you can tell, I'm very new.
I can answer that from personal experience last year. What I did was reached out to the teacher, who had the student in the classroom and asked what they're learning. And then after that initial, first meet and greet icebreaker with the student, you sort of like get a feel and maybe ask them what kind of books they're into, topics, subjects, and then go from there. And then we also do have virtual platforms you can choose multiple books from, and you can even do a physical book as well.
Okay.
I know that when I was a tutor, I chose a book and then my student chose a book or brought a book to our sessions, and we kind of just did like a trade and read type thing. So sometimes, depending on that student, they can bring their own book too.
Okay.
Of course,
Thank
if it's virtual, they will just share it with you on the screen.
Okay. Oh, good point.
I keep forgetting, like when I was a tutor, it wasn't virtual, so yeah. Anything else?
Thank y'all so much. This has been very informational.
I have a quick question. Would it be possible to have to see a person actually doing a small snippet of a trade? This is my first year as well, and just to see how that looks virtually. I'm a retired teacher, but I've never done anything virtual.
Actually, that's a yes, because we did do a lot of recordings last year, and we can actually, as y'all know what the best way to do, we maybe can send it out to all of you to be able to see, so that we won't have to like remember who wanted a copy of the video. But yes, we can definitely do that, and also send you some other links where you can actually go in and look at some of the books as well that we got from other instructors last year and also from the classroom.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think also I want to encourage everyone, if you can, since if you do get virtual, you can sign up for more than one student. I'm just putting that out there, because you can do back to back, and you can do multiple days if you want, if it's virtual. We did have some tutors that were able to do that last year. I know it's harder in person, but if we do virtual, then those are definitely some options that you can consider as well.
Do we have an option of male or female, or the age group that we want to work with?
Of course.
My preference is the older kids.
I know. And we would give you what you want.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take it.
So definitely, even when you when we send you the information out initially, you can, once you respond back, you can indicate, what grade level you want, if you want a male or female, and if you also want multiple students.
You have more than one student at a time?
Last year with some of the tutors, Deja, you need to stop me if I'm talking too much, okay? You and Sheridan, okay? You need to stop me. What we found, I know you can handle it, Loretta, with doing 2 at a time, but some of the tutors did find it kind of difficult to do 2 students at a time. But if that's something that you feel comfortable in doing, then we applaud you, and you are welcome to do that as well. We can definitely work with that with the teachers.
Okay, we'll see how it goes at first, and then I'll decide. Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
do you have particular hours that you want like for us to do, like mornings or afternoons, or do we pick our own hours?
Well, since I'm unmuted, it depends. The teacher will. Well, you will also let us know. I think when you send in your registration, and I think it's on the spreadsheet that you indicated. Like if you wanted to do, some people indicated certain times, like in the morning, mid-morning. Of course, we don't do it too late in the afternoon because they're getting ready to leave school if they're at school. But we would match you up with whatever the teacher sent us as far as a schedule for the student. So, we kind of match it up to what you indicated.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we want to be as, we want to be able to give you as many choices as you need in order for you to feel comfortable and to give you the option that you indicated. So we really do try hard in that when we do put the schedule together for you all.
All right, thank you.
Now, I also saw a piece where you might read to the entire classroom. Could you explain that about the virtual?
Those were options as well last year to read to a class, and those options are still available this year as well. But for numbers' sake, we encourage you more so to want to do one-on-one with the student for the whole school year. And there will be time opportunities also if you want to be a guest reader, like for different holidays and things like that. This classroom, the teacher does allow people to be guest readers. So that's something that you consider too. And I think those options are more for like being a class reader. You won't be a class reader for a whole year. It will be just at certain times.
Sounds good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, it does.
You guys excited?
Yes.
Yeah. Nervous.
That's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
After that first meeting, you won't be nervous.
Nope.
So I would have the option of doing virtual or person. I'll have that option.
That would depend on the school.
Oh, okay.
So we're just waiting. We're at the school's mercy. Sheraton, I didn't mean that in a bad way. It's just we really are. MRC really is at the mercy of the school as far as what they decide.
I understand. I do.
Right. It's just the way it is right now.
Right.
And things change day by day. So it could be one way today and then tomorrow, everything could change.
Yep.
Okay.
And we want to be sure to have you prepared either way.
All right.
Well, I appreciate you guys all coming and listening to me. And I just want to say that you guys are very valuable to us and valuable to our students. And we appreciate everything that you do for us and our students. So thank you so much for choosing to be a volunteer.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
And if you get placed at Harbison West in first grade, that's where I am, just in case you want to know.
Thank you so much, Ms. Parnell. If there are no more questions, everything that we said today and the resources that we've talked about, we will send out in an email just so that you have all that together. And also the Burke reading interview, I know Jill Shirley put it in the chat, but if you aren't able to access that, we'll also send that in the email. But we have high hopes for this year. Last year, we passed our goals. So we, like I said, have high hopes and we're looking forward to continuing this year virtually or in person. So thank you guys for being here and I look forward to future meetings. Della, do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it. Be patient with us.
Yes.
Be patient with us as we go through this. We've lost some staff members. So, like I said, just be patient with us, but we're going to do our best to serve your needs. And we're here for you. You have our information as well. We'll put that in the email as well, our information.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Very much.
Y'all have a great
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.